Will Garcia's impressive knockout percentage offset the experience factor? Your thoughts to that?
Well, the only way for anyone's knockout percentage or KO power to offset anything is to land and land often. Now, by his record, he can punch. He's knocked some people silly, but if he's not effective and he's not landing, that KO power won't be effective. Now, granted, the best equalizer in professional boxing is that big one-punch knockout ability. If he has that, we could be in for a very interesting night.
All right, Bobby, let's take our first look at the challenger in the ring. And that is Jimmy Garcia making his North American debut. Up until tonight, he has never fought outside his native South America. He's just 23, out of Barranquilla, Colombia. 35-3 with 25 big knockouts, riding a 13-fight winning streak, including 12 knockouts. He is the #1 contender and mandatory challenger as he makes his first attempt at a world title. And now here is the champion, 28-year-old Genaro Hernandez, his 8th straight defense of the WBA junior lightweight title. Hernandez won the crown in his first world title shot back in '91, stopping Daniel Londas in France. Born in South Central LA, now lives in Mission Viejo, California, has been sidelined since January 31st following surgery on his right hand for the 3rd time. So this, his longest stretch between fights. The unbeaten Hernandez, 30-1, 15 knockouts, 7-0-1 in championship bouts. That one blemish, a first-round technical draw with Raul Perez in '93. 2 months later, Hernandez KO'd Perez in the 8th. Let's see how they stack up on paper as we check the tail of the tape. Hernandez, the champion at 28, 5 years older than Garcia. Hernandez 5'11", Garcia 5'7.5", 3.5-inch height advantage for Hernandez. Both meeting the 130 weight limit. Major reach advantage, as you can see, for Hernandez. A 7.5-inch advantage for Hernandez. And to the WBA rules for this championship fight. 10-point must system. 3 scoring judges. No standing 8 count. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. So here at the Plaza de Toros, Mexico, closing in on the first of 4 world championship fights. The WBA Junior Lightweight Championship, Genaro Hernandez and Jimmy Garcia. Up to our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Y a todos nuestros amigos aquí, bienvenidos aficionados al box a la Plaza de Toros en la Ciudad de México. Hoy tenemos una gran noche de boxeo por Don King Productions y Promotora Alfaga, in association with King Vision, SET, Pay-Per-View, and La Cerveza Más Fina, Corona. Bien, amigos, esta es una atracción especial de la noche por el título peso ligero junior de la Asociación Mundial de Boxeo. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, Presidente Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Julio Castillo, along with la Comisión de Box de Distrito Federal. Presentando a los jueces, introducing to you the judges at ringside. Humberto Figueroa, Julio Roldan, and Medardo Villalobos. Presenting the referees Roberto Ramirez. All right, fans, here we go with the WBA Junior Lightweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. El Campeonato Peso Ligero Junior de la AMB de 12 rounds. Presentando al retador en la esquina azul. Introducing first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner wearing blue trunks. Un peleador de Barranquilla, Colombia. Pesando 58.9 kilogramos. He weighed in at the junior lightweight limit of 130 pounds. Tiene un récord de 35 victorias, 3 derrotas con 25 victorias por knockout. His record includes 35 wins, 3 losses, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the challenger, ranked the #1 contender by the WBA, presentando al retador número 1 en el mundo. Aquí está Jimmy, el Feliz Garcia. Y su oponente, el campeón en la esquina roja, his opponent across the ring on my left. In the red corner, wearing white trunks with blue trim, fighting out of y representando South Central Los Angeles, California, en los Estados Unidos. Con un peso de 58.9 kilogramos. His weight, the same as his opponent, and even 130 pounds. Tiene un récord de 30 victorias sin derrota, un empate con 15 victorias por knockout. His record includes 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Welcome, the undefeated WBA Junior Lightweight Champion of the world, tonight making his 8th defense of the title. Demos la bienvenida al campeón, el invicto, Genaro, Chicanito Hernandez. Aquí está el referee, Roberto Ramírez.
Viene García. Ok, muchachos, ya se le dieron las instrucciones en el camerino, pero voy a estar velando que hagan una pelea completamente limpia. Sigan mis órdenes, cuando le diga break, dame un paso atrás sin tirar con los guardias en alto. ¿Alguna pregunta? Ninguna. Vamos a ver. Bien.
Final instructions by Roberto Ramirez of Puerto Rico here at Plaza de Toros, Mexico. 40,000 seat bull ring. Some final prayers for the champion Genaro, Hernandez, the number one rated Jimmy Garcia. 35-3, 25 knockouts, his first world title shot. Hernandez, in our meetings with him yesterday, appeared very loose and engaging personality. You can tell by the tail of the tape he is very rangy physically. He told us that his hands are fine. He's had surgery on his right hand 3 times, on his left hand 2 times, and we are set for the start of tonight's bout, scheduled for 12. Doctors keep taking the bones from Hernandez's wrists and moving them up into his hand. Hernandez in the white, Garcia in the dark blue.
Well, Steve, I've had hand surgery, and they took the bone out of my hip to do the same thing. I'm sure they have to be weakening his wrist just a little bit.
The first thing you're struck with, of course, is a difference in size. I mean, I've never seen a guy that tall and that skinny as Genaro Hernandez. He looks like a human javelin.
Hernandez 5'11", Garcia 5'7.5". Big reach advantage as well for Hernandez, who said he'll take his time against Garcia. The fact that Garcia was a late arrival, flying from Colombia, South America into Mexico City yesterday afternoon, won't change Hernandez's plan. It won't alter Hernandez's style. He will not start out fast. He told us he is not a one-punch knockout artist. His best punch is a left uppercut to the liver.
Well, they both started out very slow, very cautious, feeling each other out. No big bombs yet, no heavy activity.
Garcia trying to become the first 130-pound champion from Colombia, his North American debut. Up until tonight has never fought outside South America. He has won 13 in a row with 12 knockouts. Halfway through the opening round. Start of a long night of boxing. Pretty good right hand and then a counter right by Garcia.
Right now, Garcia is trying to solve the range and the height, the reach. It's been difficult for him. He can't land cleanly.
And he's trying too hard to land hard punches, Bobby. I mean, he's kind of ranging. He's trying to find the range, but he's throwing too hard. So that leaves him open to the counters. And there they were.
Well, fighters like this, Freddie, we always have to slip and work a little harder because they're so tall and so rangy, and they can reach with a lot less effort. And what he's got to do is stay on the inside, Garcia, and work the body and come up. But he's staying outside a little too far.
Garcia, a good technician, will try to run and outbox Hernandez. This, according to Hernandez in our meetings yesterday. But this should be a major challenge for Garcia with the height and reach disadvantage. But Garcia does have knockout power with 25 knockouts in his 35 wins. He's also 5 years younger. And Hernandez with the hand problems, but Hernandez told us that is not a problem going in.
I tell you what is a problem. That long jab of Hernandez. He's placing Garcia just where he wants him, landing good combinations and moving away from trouble as soon as he does that. He's boxing beautifully.
Hernandez is staying just out of range. All of the shots that Garcia are throwing, or at least most of them, are falling just short.
You saw that left uppercut to the liver that we talked about earlier by Hernandez, trying to make it work against the challenger Garcia as we head for the bell.
You got that jab working beautiful, right? Set him up with that jab. Keep going to the jab. I think he's going to. Everything's good, Gino, okay? Got your jab under control. Keep popping it, popping it. If you go with a jab to the face, come down to the body with the right hand, okay? Right? When you get against the wall, cover up pretty good, and then go to the body. Hit that liver shot, and then go up the middle. Okay? No, that's cool. This is the first round. You got everything under control. You got what?
Y también usa los ganchos en la cabeza, ya. Búscale los costados cuando ella se quita ahí por acá atrás duro. Y cuando saliste atento, a moverte enseguida. No te le quedas ahí parado de frente, ya. Cabecear hacia los lados cuando vayas buscando. Coja ahí, dame paso. Vamos, ya lo demás, ya. Vamos. Atento, que nada más tiene los ya y los rectos. Atento al ya, a la recta después ya.
Round two, they're a little late in getting the mouthpiece into Jimmy Garcia. Manuel Garcia Acosta, his chief trainer. Rudy Hernandez, the older brother of Genaro, doing the talking in the Hernandez corner. Two scheduled for 12 for the WBA junior lightweight title.
In the Garcia corner, they were saying hook him more. And then after you hook, go straight to the body. And they were pretty well convinced that he lost that first round. And in the opposite corner, they were pretty well convinced that he took the first round. So I agree with him.
Hernandez in the white trunks, he's the champion. He's got the big experience factor working. He's gone the distance 3 times. He has seen the championship rounds. He's had 7 title defenses. He's only been knocked down once. That was back in 1984 when he first started out as a pro. Good left hand there by Hernandez, a countering right that missed by Garcia.
Hernandez is true to form. He said he was going to start slow and be a technician somewhat himself, take his time and work until he found out what he wanted to do and what was going to be effective. But his left hand right now is doing all the damage.
And he's boxing well. I mean, he's in control. He's like his interview. Nice and relaxed. He looks like he's having a good time, and he's doing just what he wants.
Bobby, when you were fighting a man with a considerable reach advantage, what do you do to counteract that?
You know, you can't slip every punch. That takes way too much energy and too much time. Sometimes you just have to keep the hands tight, close to your face, and what we call walk them down, walk them back to the corner, keep them there, stay on the inside to offset his range, compromise him so that he can't use those long arms on the inside.
Good action here, good exchange. Again, Hernandez getting the better of it, but Garcia getting close, and he's landing some bombs to the body. There it goes, right to the body.
Left right hand now by Hernandez. Hernandez 30-0-1 with 15 knockouts. Garcia 35-3 with 25 KOs.
He's starting to throw that right hand, Garcia, with a little bit of bad intention on it.
Less than a minute remaining in round 2. Garcia looking very confident as he is nailed with a left hook by Hernandez.
He looks like he's willing to take punches because he's confident that he's got the punch to knock out.
Well, he's certainly been a lot more effective here, using the right hand to the body, winging it around Hernandez's arms and elbows, and now he's taking some upstairs. A lot more effective this round.
Yes, Garcia clearly willing to trade with the champion.
Low blow on the part of Garcia. You got to, because he's throwing such hard body shots, and the guy's so tall. Some of them's got to go low.
A caution from referee Roberto Ramirez.
You notice here, too, opposite of the first round, Hernandez now the one going forward, pressing the action.
The difference I see is that Hernandez has lost the ability to maintain the distance, and the energy of Garcia has carried him inside, and he's scoring better. He's done much better this round, has Garcia.
Están dos míos todos. Todos están dos míos. Siéntate. Vaya. Respira profundo. Respira profundo.
First of all, he's trying to get in. He's trying to get under that distance penalty that he was paying and trying to avoid a jab. Then he comes in, then he punches.
Well, you'll see him here on the inside trying to dig that body. He's winging right hands in, and he tears a left hook, left uppercut, or left hook right under the belt, low blow. I'm sure we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, and that's the kind. It's not intentional, and you know, it warrants a warning. But hey, couldn't help that.
They touch gloves for round 3, scheduled for 12 for the WBA Junior Lightweight Championship. The champion Hernandez in the white, the challenger Garcia in the dark blue. Garcia coming off an effective round. A lot of wetness and moisture in the corner of Garcia. We'll see if that plays in. It's very dry in the Hernandez corner if they work their way over there.
I remember he came in late to Garcia, that penalty that a fighter pays will pay off in a later round, so he must feel a little anxiety to get this thing under control here and start inflicting damage. Punches to the liver, punches to the side, and get Hernandez slowed down.
Not only that, Bertie, but we're at 8,000 feet. Now, I know the flight was over 8,000 feet, but where did he train? Did he try and do something to acclimate himself to the weather here and the altitude?
Well, we're a mile plus high. The altitude makes it very difficult to breathe.
They both exchanged very low blows, but only Hernandez complained, but they were both low.
Also tough to breathe because of the pollution. It also makes the eyes burn and water and swell up. So all kinds of physical problems coming in for certain fighters. Particularly for a guy who comes in just yesterday. Some wrestling tactics by Hernandez as they tie each other up. Crowd getting into it. Good left jab there by Hernandez.
Hernandez seems intent on pushing the action, stepping forward and making Garcia back up, maybe compromising his power a little bit, but he was actually a little more effective, allowing Garcia to come forward in the first round.
Okay, break.
Well, Hernandez looks confident. He's a champion that's fighting his kind of fight. He knows his time is going to come. And Garcia looks like a guy that feels like, hey, I can take this guy. He's getting more confident every round. So it's a good battle shaping up here.
Hernandez has built a reputation as one of the toughest fighters in his division.
Ooh. Beautiful right hand by Hernandez, right on the button, but no bad effects.
And also to be tested here is his hands with all those surgical operations, and he starts to break up. Boy, that's worse news than the weather and the altitude.
Hernandez has had 3 surgeries on his right hand, 2 on his left. When we asked him about it, he just shook his head and laughed.
Well, he's thrown it with abandon. He's thrown it like he never had 1 surgical operation, so that guy is carefree.
Outside the ring, it'd be hard for us to find a more likable guy than Hernandez. Just a lot of fun to talk to.
Very easy going. Less than 30 seconds in round 3.
Well, he's all business right there. Nice combination, left, right on the button for Garcia.
Yeah, he's picked up round 1. He's picked up all his technique again, and he's gone back to dominating the round. Using the distance, using that left hand and combinations.
A better round for the champion Hernandez as he applies the pressure. Final seconds, round 3. Well, coming up next here at Plaza de Toros, Mexico, terrible Terry Norris climbs back in the ring for the first time since his dazzling display against Simon Brown to regain his WBC Super Welterweight title. Here's Norris backstage in his dressing room. Norris controlling that fight from the opening bell, avenging the stunning 4th-round knockout loss to Brown last December. Here in Mexico tonight, Norris takes on journeyman Luis Santana. Terrible Terry making final preparations.
Let's take a look at this great combination Hernandez puts together. Look at that. Left hook, right cross, and he doesn't quit punching. You know what I like about him, Bobby? When he looks like he's through his combination, he still throws 1 or 2 more punches.
Yeah,
that's good punching.
Attacks and then counterattacks, very sharp.
He is, I mean, you know, look at that. He's looking down at the photographers and talking to them. He is a relaxed guy.
He's sort of a lighter version of Tex Cobb. There's that moisture that we were referring to in the last round. Now the referee, Ramirez, taking charge. That's in Garcia's corner. It's getting a little out of hand over there. And that's going to bother people in the future fights tonight as well, unless they get that scrubbed up fast.
I take it the analogy with Tex Cobb was about his personality, not about his boxing ability.
You got that right.
Yeah, this guy can really box.
I'll tell you what, he's gotten a little bit now into a punching mode, keeping the hands up and walking to Garcia, giving everything he has behind his punches.
But Bobby, that's exactly what he told us he was going to do in the interview. He's done exactly what he said he was going to do.
He said he'd start out slowly, not alter his game plan, even with Garcia showing up late with the visa problems out of Colombia, South America. Hernandez certainly not afraid to trade punches with Garcia, standing right in there.
Yeah, Garcia came back with about 5 or 6 combination punches, and that's nice. He doesn't quit. This kid is right there. Look at all the punching he's done, and Hernandez has done nothing in return yet. Judges are impressed.
You can see a little bit of a backward thought process in Garcia's mind, though. He's not throwing those punches the way he was in the first couple of rounds. He's starting to back up now, a little lighter on his punches.
Also, his eyes are getting a little swollen.
Just going to say that his right eye in particular is getting swollen.
Headbutt, headbutt, headbutt.
And the warning from Roberto Ramirez to Garcia, watch the head.
And that was an intentional headbutt. That wasn't just by chance.
One of boxing's little pleasantries.
And a nice right hand by Hernandez. Hernandez with a solid right hand. Again, standing right in on Garcia. Doesn't mind the infighting. But he's not got that reach.
Look at the elbow. Look at the elbow. Was that a classic from the 30s?
Going to turn this into a little bit of a barroom brawl.
Another one low by Garcia.
Garcia trying any and every tactic here in round number 4.
I'll tell you what, that left uppercut and half of a hook that's going down below and ripping up, starting to really do a lot of damage to Garcia.
Good hand movement by Garcia, but Hernandez swarming Garcia. He's stalking him.
Also, a lot of that is missing Hernandez because he's smothering most of those punches and blocking them. But still, you got to give Garcia credit for coming on. He's throwing 7, 8 punches at a time without an answer. Look at him right there.
And a left hand by Hernandez. The nose of Garcia bloodied. 15 seconds and counting in round 4.
As Freddie used to say in the old days, his face is starting to get red and ugly.
Whereas before, it was just red.
Let's see how they handle things in the corner of Garcia.
El agua, ¿dónde está el agua? El agua, ¿dónde está? Baile, respira profundo y bota. Está cogiendo mano por el centro. Pégatele pegadito abajo, ¿viste? Ey, ya no le huyas más. Pégatele paradito y le metes la mano y te estás bajando con tus manos arriba, ¿viste? Ahí, coge aire, respira. Ten aquí, ten aquí. Pégate ahí mismito, ahí.
They have ignored any kind of damage to his face. As you can see, they've done nothing right now, a little bit. And the only thing he has said is that they're hitting you right down the middle. Let's take a look at that headbutt, and you decide whether that's an intentional headbutt. You see how he came up there? Hernandez said here.
It could have been intentional, but that started to look to me as it was just an accident on the replay.
Well, Hernandez didn't feel that way. He gave a nice little sharp right hand to remind him, don't do that. Anyway, they ignored the swelling. They didn't put any swell, any ice, nothing. They seem to be experts at getting ice on the canvas, but not on the fighter.
Well, we'll see if that swelling above the right eye of Garcia plays a role as we enter round 5. Combination by Garcia to the face of Hernandez. Hernandez with a little Floyd Patterson approach there, a little peekaboo style. And he's coming forward, but not making much contact. That right eye looks to be a problem now for Garcia. Down he goes, but it looks like, let's see if that was a trip. No, they're calling it a knockdown.
It was a good double left hook. There was a trip in the middle, but the left hook did catch him square in the butt.
3 knockdown rule is in effect, WBA.
You wonder if the altitude is starting to take its effect on Jimmy Garcia right now, because he just doesn't look good. There's nothing on his punches. Nothing is the way it was in the first couple of rounds.
No, and he's fought a good fight up to here. It's just that he starts to wear out, and no question, Hernandez looks sharp. Looks like he's just getting into trim. It's just, everything is just coming his way. And the other guy looks desperate. Garcia looks desperate. He's starting to swell up. His eye is bothering him. He has nothing on his punches. I can't say nothing on his punches because he is punching hard, but they're mostly being blocked.
So a knockdown here in round 5 for Hernandez as Garcia went to the canvas 32 seconds into the round. He did trip on his way down, but it was ruled a clean knockdown.
See, if you notice, right now, Hernandez is doing what I thought Garcia should have done. He's putting his hands up and just walking back, keeping physical pressure on Garcia, taking his punches on the gloves, and then delivering his own much harder blows right this time.
And sharper and to the point. I mean, they have good accuracy. Good pinpoint accuracy on Hernandez. And Garcia's throwing just roundhouses, hoping to get in.
Garcia telegraphing that right, easily deflected by the much more experienced and crafty Hernandez.
You you can see the effects of the accuracy on the puffy eye of Jimmy Garcia. Hernandez is just really working that right eye.
For all the comedy and frivolity that Hernandez provided for us yesterday in the meetings, as you say, Bobby, all business in the ring.
And he boxes beautifully. I love it when he comes in with what looks like a light punch, and then he rips a very hard punch. It looks like he's just coming in, and all of a sudden there's a real hard combination. Boy, he's a master at that.
Low blow by Garcia. He's had about 3 of them here in this fight. Less than 30 seconds, round 5. Hernandez having his way. He has scored a knockdown this round.
Another butt.
Well, I'll tell you, for such a big man, Hernandez is comfortable at close range.
He looks like he's comfortable in the ring. This guy looks like a champion.
I'll say this, though, while Garcia is losing the fight, showing good resiliency after the knockdown.
Roberto Ramirez, sick of seeing his guys butting, and Healing says, "¿Qué pasa? What happening here?" Uh-oh, he's really taking some punishment now as Garcia.
Hernandez is whipping that left hook to the body in there.
Wow, what a performance by Hernandez.
Tiene que tirar más las manos. Baile. Allá, déjalo que respire. Baile. Arriba, porque si la tiras arriba, la está bloqueando. Vamos a cambiar el tren ahora.
Let's take a look at this knockdown and see if it's an authentic knockdown. You see a couple of, that's a hook, and definitely he went down. I think that's an authentic hook, Bobby, an authentic knockdown.
Yeah, it's an authentic knockdown. You can see that he gets a little tripped up with his feet, but right there, he's not totally bounced. He squared off, but that hook landed squarely on his nose and put him to the seat of his pants.
Again, the referee is in the corner. Let's take a last look at that. 1 hook, 2 hooks, definitely down. Referee Robert Ramirez went to the corner and said, cut out all this rough stuff. And amazingly enough, the corner has not touched the face of Jimmy Garcia. Gave him a lot of water and swamped him in water, but they did not do anything to the eye or to reduce the swelling. Shabby corner work.
Round 6, timeout. And they still want to sop up the moisture in the corner of Garcia. Garcia's right eye is clearly closing. Does that make it tougher to see the left hook?
Oh, it sure does. When you have an eye closed, which I've had more than once, you can't see punches. They become blind shots. They hurt more. They catch you by surprise. It's difficult, as well as they're very painful.
By the way, the timekeeper was 5 seconds over in the previous round, so Garcia had to be in there even longer than he wanted to. Garcia, who has never been stopped before, having his difficulty here with the champion Hernandez.
Bobby, why is this guy on the ropes flat like that? Why is Hernandez here? We don't need to be.
I don't know. He could be laying a trap for it. He could be just taking a brief rest. He's done most of the work over the past 3 rounds. It's inexplicable as far as I'm concerned, being so effective in the other mode.
I think he's playing with him. I think he's inviting him in so he can get into that extremely fast counter-punching that he does. But it seems foolish to me. Anytime you put your backs to the rope, you're inviting trouble.
Well, what he's doing is giving Jimmy Garcia the only chance he has, and that's to unload on him.
Yeah, you can't go too many ways when you got your back completely on the ropes. Very few guys know how to work the ropes like Zuma Nelson knew how to work the ropes.
What he may be doing, if he's really thinking right now, which he very well could be, is that he's letting Jimmy use the early part of the round to waste a lot of energy and hoping that the altitude, the late day coming in, will affect him as the later part of the round, as well as fight goes on, and pressure him from here on out.
Well, there's no question that Hernandez is taking the first part of this round off. Midway through round 6. Let's see if he turns it on for the second half of the round.
Well, that certainly looked like the definition of the opening of the gates to I'm taking the rest of this round, because he punched it very hard to the body and to the head.
Good left hand and a right by Hernandez. Now Garcia turning Hernandez around right above us against the ropes. The crowd whistling, which is their version of booing. Chopping right hand by Hernandez. Garcia standing right in there, though. Spins Hernandez around nicely.
Garcia's throwing that right hand over the top. Too much of a slapping motion. He's not delivering it. And even his punches to the body now, everything is just so much less than it was.
I think he's wearing out. Not only is the punching getting to him, I think the altitude is getting to him. He's just not crisp like he was before. He's been down, no question, and he's taking a body beating from Hernandez, who just won't let you off the hook.
The right eye of Garcia continues to close. Under 30 seconds left in round 6. headbutt. Garcia butting with Hernandez, and they're taking a point away from Garcia. Roberto Ramirez has seen enough late here in round 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a big enough hole. He's already in losing the round. Now he's losing points on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Coming up next, the upset-minded Luis Santana will meet terrible Terry Norris. We saw Norris earlier for the WBC Super Welterweight title. Well, let's take a look at 35-year-old Luis Santana in his dressing room. Santana from the Dominican Republic, who now lives in New York, is rated number 9 by the WBC. He's a 2-time NABF champion, getting his second shot tonight at a world title, the durable Luis Santana.
Let's take a look at that headbutt again. This has been happening all along, but this time I think Hernandez said, well, too much is too much. Boom. I tell you what, they both butted right there. That was not particularly impressive to me.
Well, he brought his head down into the head, so that makes for it. That makes for it to not be anybody's.
I didn't think that. I mean, the thing is, he's been butting so long that was finally the thing that pushed him over. But that wasn't the point where it should have been done.
Round 7, scheduled for 12 for the WBA Junior Lightweight Championship. Genaro Hernandez in the white, he's the champion. Jimmy Garcia is the challenger in the dark blue. Hernandez has controlled the fight. Garcia went down 32 seconds into round 5. Also had a point deducted for a headbutt in round 6.
Right eye almost totally closed down. A lot of blood in the mouth, which means he's, in addition to his other troubles, he's swallowing blood. That doesn't make you feel good.
As Ferdy points out, they have not been attending to the damaged eye in Garcia's corner. They have not used the end swell, which is puzzling.
If not end swell, at the very least, ice.
And that left hand is just ripping. He's ripping uppercuts, and he's hitting the eye. He's hitting above the eye, below the eye. He is doing a lot of damage with that ripping left hand, and the right hand is starting to land now.
Unfortunately for Garcia, all the ice is on the floor in front of his corner. As Hernandez airs it out to the head and body of Garcia, who's taking a beating. And most of these punches by Hernandez are landing, much to the chagrin of Garcia, who keeps getting pushed back, pushed back.
There's no question he is on the offensive. He is the aggressor in this fight. He's the sharper puncher. He is the champion, and he's showing.
And he's feeling it now, low blow, and I'm saying really south of the border by Garcia.
I don't know, how can they take another point away from this poor guy?
Past the midway point of round 7. Garcia continues to retreat.
You know, as you look at his record, Hernandez is 30-0-1, and that one isn't really a blemish. It's a technical draw. A headbutt early in the fight. In the immediate rematch, he KO'd that man in 2 rounds.
That was Raul Perez, yes. He came right back a couple of months later and took care of business. The only blemish on his record. Genaro Hernandez, 30-0-1, 15 knockouts, 28 from South Central Los Angeles. His 8th title defense, 6-0-1 in title defenses. After winning his first 23 fights, Ramirez got his first world title shot, the WBA Junior Lightweight crown, and he captured it in France over Daniel Landis.
I'll tell you what, it's becoming a replay round after round, combination after combination. Hernandez is just doing what he has to do.
Oh, that was very low on the part of Hernandez. That was a very low blow by Hernandez, and hard.
As we head for the bell, round number 7. Another tough round for Garcia. Let's take a look at the other champions in the junior lightweight division. You see Genaro Hernandez, who's performing very well tonight, representing the WBA. Gabriel Ruelas, who comes off the exciting victory over Jesse James Leah, is the WBC junior lightweight champ, and Juan John Molina is the IBF junior lightweight champion.
Well, score here is almost laughable because I have it 68-63. I think that, you know, the knockdown was a 10-8 round. Then they took a point away from that was a 10-8 round. I mean, he is almost dug and impossible. Oh, I don't think he can get out of it unless he lands a lucky punch. And I don't think he's got the strength to do that.
I actually have it even a little further, 69-62, two 10-8 rounds, the point in the knockdown. And he's only won, Garcia one round in the second round. That's the only blemish for Hernandez that he lost that round.
Round number 8. As they touch gloves once again, the right eye of Garcia continues to close. It's not quite completely closed, but it is heavily swollen. Wild miss by Garcia. Hernandez is apparently toying with Garcia at this particular stage. This is really a surreal type setting in a 40,000 seat full ring in Mexico City. The stands are so steep, they almost go straight up. And it's been straight ahead for the champion here in the white trunks, Genaro Hernandez.
See, Jimmy Garcia cannot let Hernandez come forward. Just keep coming forward and doing what he will. He's got to push him back. He's got to offer up some offense and give the champion something to worry about.
Hernandez seems like he just takes that first minute off and says, okay, I think I'll work the last 2 minutes, and then comes forward, and when he does, it's all over.
Now the crowd whistling and booing.
You can never please every crowd.
Well, what they want is a toe-to-toe slug out here. It's not in Hernandez's interest to do that. He's winning this fight handily when it's about him. He can go like this all the way to the end and not have any problem.
Why risk it? As he looks back at Julio Cesar Chavez, who is sitting behind us doing some commentary on the Spanish network. Julio in attendance, the WBC Super Lightweight champion and probably the most popular man in Mexico. Perhaps looking back to get some sign of approval from the champ.
Well, the champ's got his own problems in December. He's got a nice tight fight with Tony Lopez coming up. He better run from here and start getting training because Tony doesn't know how to quit.
That'll be up north in Monterrey, Mexico. The crowd now getting into it as Hernandez opens up a little with his offense. Stumbles around, lost his footing for a moment.
The beginning of the end is at hand. I think Garcia is just about ready to give it up. He's taking too much punishment. That eye's not being helped at all by all the punishment that's landing on him.
He's brave enough, but he's really got nothing left. I mean, it's he's still in there trying, but he's getting just hammered.
And it looks like Hernandez is trying to appease the fans here as he does let loose with a few shots. Less than 30 seconds in round 8. Garcia continues to miss wildly, bothered by the closing right eye. His face a mess.
And his punches have nothing on them. They're guessing punches. Like, I wonder if he's there punches.
Hernandez had Garcia down 32 seconds into round 5. The only knockdown of the fight. Garcia has never been stopped. Smacking left there by Garcia as Hernandez came in, but no damage. And on the subject of Julio Cesar Chavez, there he is with the headset on. 5 world titles in 3 weight divisions. Comes off the thrilling 8th round TKO of Meldrick Taylor this past September 17th in Las Vegas. Revered here in Mexico. You can hear him talking in the background.
Creo que los dos no han dado en la pelea que se esperaba, que los dos han tenido pues una acción bastante floja para bien decirlo, para ponerlo sencillamente.
Sí, yo creo definitivamente que Chicanito definitivamente es un gran peleador, es un buen peleador, pero la verdad que le han faltado recursos para poder terminar esta pelea por nocaut.
He's saying the champion's good, and he's surprised that he's got the capacity to knock him out, and he hasn't. He's sort of criticizing that he's not putting on enough steam to finish this.
So we're getting set for round 9. The crowd would like to see Hernandez finish Garcia off as well. They agree with Chavez.
Well, they're impatient, but you know, this little guy has got that little combination, good news, bad news, which is he can take a punch. That means he'll stay here for a while, and taking this punishment sort of unnecessarily can't win.
Garcia surviving a knockdown early in round 5.
I'll tell you, Steve, the points are just adding up for the champion. It's almost becoming a moot point. I don't think Garcia has the juice to knock him out. He's never really demonstrated true one-punch KO ability to me at all. And certainly at this level of the fight, he doesn't have much juice left.
Garcia's corner is up almost on the apron over there, off to our left, encouraging their man. Technically, they're not supposed to be up there, but they're up there anyway.
Now, this guy can really take some shots, because every once in a while Hernandez tees off with a right hand that should cause big damage, and it just doesn't move the skin, although his face is falling apart.
And loud right by Garcia, but landing softly on the arm of Hernandez. As Garcia telegraphs. Point left jab there by Hernandez, annoying Garcia.
Well, the champion's kind of relaxing a little bit here now, and the crowd's starting to whistle and boo.
Well, Hernandez knows he's got Garcia in his pocket, but he won't go in for the finish, and that's why the crowd is reacting thusly. We've got a full slate of championship fights coming up, so stay with us. Terry Norris and Luis Santana is upcoming for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship.
Oh, look at that right hand.
Didn't seem to do much, though.
No, doesn't do anything, but it's right on the money. Boy, oh boy. I mean, that should carry you right out of here. Look at it, the way his head goes back with just a jab. He has no strength left. He can't even hold his head up on a good jab. Look at that uppercut. Well, those are all punches that should really put you in some kind of trouble.
Garcia showing heart.
Yeah, he's really tough. I mean, either he's tough or Hernandez can't punch as hard as we thought he could.
Well, he's not a big puncher. You can see his knockouts 15 out of 30, which is not big. But I'll tell you what, he's very sharp, very accurate, good condition. Got a good package.
And now Garcia's right eye is just about shut.
Well, Bobby, when a guy's not a big puncher, but he punches a lot, and he's before a guy who's standing there taking every punch, that accumulation of punches should carry you out of there. And it's not doing it to this guy who's also on top of it tired.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to give Jimmy Garcia some credit that he wants to be there, he wants to stay. He had a couple of opportunities to quit, and right now he's hell-bent on staying there for a while.
And he's seeing out of a slit in his right arm.
That is correct.
Actually, the referee has enough of a reason to call a doctor in and stop the fight if he wants. The fight's way out of control. His eye is closing. He could sustain damage to the eye. They're not going to open the eye. The eye is going to remain closed, get shut tighter, and he could, without too much trouble, and I don't think the crowd would mind, stop this fight.
Well, here you see Hernandez taking charge for most of the fight. He's effective with the jab. He's got the reach. Garcia can't stay out there, especially now that he's tired. Those punches are going to get caught in the tail end, the power end. He's doing what he wants, taking time off when he wants, again, ripping that left uppercut. He doesn't have a fight in front of him.
Yeah, the continuation. Look, that was the punch I was talking about where his head just went back. He's just getting gonged with every type of very hard punch. The hooks that Hernandez throws off of what appears to be, he's through, and then all of a sudden he throws a devastating hook. Kid is tough, though. He's learned he can take a bunch, and that's good, and that's bad.
And that eye is an ugly sight. As we enter round 10 for the WBA Junior Lightweight Championship, Hernandez in the white, his 8th title defense, and he has been in command.
He's so far back he can't win. He's risking damage to his eye. I don't see any reason not to stop this fight, although boxing purists would argue he's still got a puncher's chance. Look what happened with Foreman, et cetera, et cetera.
Interestingly, there has not been a doctor to really look closely into the eye of Jimmy Garcia. Is that something to do with being here in Mexico?
I think so. I think they're much more casual about physical injury than we are. We have just recently come to that. Take a look. Let's stop things. We're still here in the 30s, 40s mode.
A little more of a macho society, huh?
Here it is. You keep on fighting until you're starched.
So round 10 continues. Amazingly, Garcia still in it. He's got a damaged face, a completely shut right eye. He's been down earlier in this fight, but hanging in there. And on the offense, no less.
Yeah, see, what's probably puzzling a lot of people, including myself, is why Hernandez, who's been so effective coming forward, would lay back on the ropes. Maybe he's taking a rest, I don't know. He's done most of the work. But it's the only chance Jimmy Garcia has, and he's giving it to him.
Garcia, who's had 38 fights, has never been past the 10th round.
Hernandez gives no indication there's anything wrong with his hands because he's working with both hands pretty effectively and punching hard. Wow. He missed that hook. That would have been something.
Well, the crowd has taken some time off from their whistling and booing. Less than a minute remaining in round 10. I think they're tuckered out. They just want this to end already to get on with the business.
It's a long, tough night in Mexico City for Hernandez.
Of course, they're awaiting the main event. Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carbajal 3.
Well, there will be no booing there.
And the booing begins here once again for this fight.
Okay, break. You know, sometimes you have to really let the crowd know in some way they got to appreciate what's happening here, and they're really not. Great boxing ability that Hernandez is demonstrating. Jimmy Garcia, you know, God bless him, he's doing his best, just not near good enough.
Well, the Mexican fans very knowledgeable, obviously, but as Ferdy pointed out earlier, they want action. And right now, the champion Hernandez is not providing that with a major opportunity to put this thing away.
Close it. Anytime he's close to you now, you let that jab go, okay? Right? Don't let him set himself up. Keep him off guard with that jab in his face, okay? How's the fight now, man?
He doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to run.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it, okay?
Close it.
Just worry about him not getting too close to you.
Yeah, this guy's hardly got any eye damage, and they're working furiously on his eye. You ought to say, excuse me, go back to the other corner over there and work. Leave this guy alone. He's got hardly anything.
Close it, close it. Don't worry about it.
The irony of it all, huh?
Boxing. Beat his ass. He's not gonna beat you. He's not gonna beat you.
Pegadito, 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 pegadito. Ya. Ey, vamos. Ey, pegadito. Hacia la cintura y después cruzamos arriba. Jimmy, pégatele bien y mete mano rápido.
Into the championship rounds, round number 11. Hernandez, from his stool, Bobby and Ferdy, looked over at us just a moment ago and just kind of rolled his eyes and shrugged his shoulders and says, what am I going to do?
You know, I saw a little bit of a frustration or a perturbed look. I didn't understand it. And in the other corner, you see where all the water's going. You put cold water down his pants to try and wake him up. And that may wake you up, may not make you fight any better.
A scene from Raging Bull.
There you go.
You know, getting here again, I mean, you can't expect him to have a lot of energy. He just got here. He's hardly acclimatized. And here he's putting in a gutty performance. He's getting beaten, no question about it, but he is putting in a gutty performance. Give him credit.
Yes, he arrived just yesterday, did the challenger Garcia, after having visa problems, trying to get out of his native South America into Mexico City. And he is putting on a gutty effort here, despite the fact that he is well behind. In fairness to Hernandez, he hasn't fought since late January because of the chronic hand problems, and he hasn't looked rusty. Good left hand there by Hernandez on the spin-around move.
Well, every champion has these nights. There were nights that Ali just couldn't put a guy away, and you just were in a dogfight all night long. This kid doesn't know he's losing. He's trying to win. Got to give him credit. You got to give Garcia credit, and he's coming forward.
Garcia's eye has been shut for a long, long time. This hasn't just happened. He got knocked down 32 seconds into round 5, had a point deducted for a headbutt in round 6.
Even Hernandez now doesn't seem to be throwing punches real hard.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem to be tired. He just, I don't know, maybe he's having hand problems again.
No, you know what I think it was? He's lost heart. He's lost interest. It's like, I can't do anything. I can't knock this guy, and I might as well just go ahead and go to the end of this.
And Hernandez just simply doesn't want to risk hurting his hands against a guy like Garcia, who's into round 11 for the first time in his career.
Also, they're taking again with it. He manifests interest in his eye, caution. He's saying, is it bad? He keeps touching it. He's more worried about that than he is winning this fight. He's already won this fight.
Well, we're well past the point of no return. It's a knockout for Garcia or it's nothing. And right now, I think also the champion knows that he's just relaxing and going through the motions.
And he doesn't want to get cut any worse than he is. He's fighting a defensive fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Garcia wins the last rounds.
And so far, an easy night for Medardo Villalobos of Panama, Humberto Figueroa of Panama, Julio Roldan of Venezuela, the three judges.
Vamos, tíralo bien. Tira profundo. Vamos para el último, Jimmy, pero acércate bien cerquitica.
No traten de cerrarlo, Jimmy, trata de abrirlo. No hay que más agua para que
él también está roto el ojo. Él también está roto el ojo. No le tape la nariz, después no respira. Vamos, respira.
Último round.
Vamos, Jimmy, es el último. Rífatela, métele bastante.
No vayas ya es el último. Ojo vivo al último. No, con todo.
That's the obvious thing they tell him. It's the last round. Let's listen to this corner.
Huh? No, you don't have to do nothing. You understand? You got a good left hand. That's all you need.
Very good.
All right? Measure him. I'm telling you, stick that right hand out and then you plunk him.
That capsule, what Bobby and I were just saying, there's no interest in finishing this fight. Just get over this round. Don't get cut anymore. Don't hurt your hands. Just get through the round with your left hand. And in the other corner, they said it's the 12th round. You got to knock him out.
Well, you know, Freddie, sometimes there is that point where you just can't knock that guy out. You know you're going to win the fight. Don't get yourself hurt. Don't take any silly chances.
All right, round 12.
I'm sorry. Sometimes that's the time you get knocked out. I hate those fights where you say to the guy, take it easy, just drift along, and then he gets clocked.
Very dirty
on the part of Garcia just then. A lot of healing and elbowing. And they're fighting exactly like their corners told them to. Hernandez just with his left hand, being cool, and the other guy attacking with everything he's got. Whatever there is left of it.
Which isn't much right now.
Not much. Oh. Maybe he hurt his right hand because they told him just use the left. You don't have to throw the right.
Obviously, we know who's ahead here, but how do you score it thus far?
Bobby?
I have a 109.98. It's pretty much a runaway every round except the second. I gave to Hernandez, and there are 2 10-8s in there, one for the point, one for the knockdown.
Yeah, I was more merciful because I think Garcia's doing all the fighting now, and Hernandez is not, even though he's clocking him. I've got it 106 to 101, but that's merciful. That's truly giving Garcia some benefit of the doubt the last 2 rounds.
You might be one of those judges I got mad at when they were scoring money, giving some away for free.
That's how you see those things happen.
So a couple of points for Hart for the challenger, Jimmy Garcia. Less than a minute 30 to go in round 12, and a totally lopsided effort for Hernandez, the champion.
I fought a guy named Murray Sutherland, and I thought I won every round. 2 of the judges had it 10-0 and 9-0 and 1, and one judge had it 7-2 and 1. I said, what 2 rounds did you give me? He said, I gave him 2 for showing up.
That's like the SATs. You get points just for signing your name?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's where I got all mine.
That's when you were NBC's fair-haired boy. You did that fight for us.
Bobby Chin, 2-time world champion. Well, we've got a world champion in the ring here who's hearing it from the crowd. Genaro Hernandez, even though he is well in command of this fight, not able to put Garcia away. Less than 40 seconds remaining.
Cuidado con la cabeza. Okay. Vamos, suéltalo.
Garcia with the right eye completely shut, hanging in there. Looks like a slip as he backpedaled to the canvas.
Kind of a slip with a little push involved.
Yes. All right, here we go. Final 10 seconds. I don't think you'll hear it countdown.
Okay. Hey.
And this one has mercifully come to an end. You see the look of frustration on the face of Genaro Hernandez, even though he is clearly the victor.
Yeah, he certainly was less than perfectly happy, and maybe we'll find out why with the interviews.
Jimmy Garcia showing a lot of character and guts hanging in there against Hernandez. Hernandez there with his older brother Rudy, his chief trainer. But I'm puzzled, Bobby, as to why they never really worked on that eye early of Jimmy Garcia.
Steve, it does not stand to reason that you would leave it alone, not have an end swell, an ice bag, something under pressure. They just didn't pay any attention to it hardly at all in the beginning. I don't even think they gave it a second look. And if they did anything later, it was nominal, and it was certainly too late.
Yeah, very strange in the corner of Jimmy Garcia. Nothing against Garcia, who really put forth a valiant effort here against the champion Hernandez. Garcia, who flew in just yesterday because of visa problems, as we have documented. Garcia told us yesterday in our meetings that that was not going to alter his style. He would still start off and fight Garcia slowly, and hope that an accumulation of punches would do the trick.
Here you go. You'll see where he's backing up. The champion's backing Garcia, being effective, coming forward. Double left hook, a little bit of off balance, but the punch that dropped him was pretty clean. I don't think it was a tremendous knockdown. Garcia obviously not real hurt.
That was 32 seconds into round 5.
Now we'll take a look at one of the headbutts. Basically, he kind of just comes in, tucks his hands, and the point was deducted a little while. You'll see it. Boom. He's down, looking to get away from the punches and the assault. That's a very difficult thing to call, especially being a shorter man. I know I cover and duck. If a man brings his face into my head, that's not my problem.
As if Garcia didn't have enough problems. He gets a point deducted.
Toros and still champion Genaro, Chicanito Hernandez.
So there you have it. Genaro Hernandez, unanimous decision, retains his WBA junior